So welcome back to Talking Comics with Heroes and Villains. I'm Eric, and this is
Arnie.
And we're gonna keep going because that was amazing. I'm like a human thunderbolt, which is apt because today we're reviewing Peter Cannon, the Thunderbolts.
Are Thunderbolts that clumsy?
They are. It was actually really advanced kung fu. There was an invisible ninja that I attacked.
Masquerading as a rack.
Much like Charlton Heston, only I could see him, and I thwarted him. Little chair, yeah. So, making it relevant. What's up? So we read Peter Cannon Thunderbolts, and it's amazing.
Yeah. And it's written by Alex Ross and...
I don't even know. What's the guy? The co-writer's name is Steve Darnell. And it was good. It was good. This character is older than dirt. It's I'm pretty sure it's public domain, isn't it?
I'm not sure.
I know he's a Golden Age guy. He's been around forever.
He might be. There was talk at the back of the book that Pete Morisi kept the rights. Pete Morisi is the guy that created.
And his story is actually cooler than the characters. Where Pete Morisi was a cop by day, and then by night he was a comic book artist and writer.
Yeah, he was a cartoonist.
And he didn't tell anybody who he was. Like he went by his initials, which were PAM. So he was Pam, Wham Pam.
Bam?
Wham Bam Pam.
Flim Flam.
Yeah, it was amazing. He never told anyone while he was alive like what he did, and then he did like 13 issues, I believe, of the character.
Something like that.
And then died.
No, I'm not sure.
Eventually
he didn't die right away. But
yeah, after drawing the last panel.
He had a long career doing crime comics, and then he started doing Peter Cannon later on.
But it was superhero, and it was kind of like embarrassing, and he didn't really talk about it. And
I think it's the cartooning he didn't talk about. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he was embarrassed about doing superheroes.
I get the sense that he's like this kind of blue collar guy who like drawing was kind of like Nancy Boy. Like I know he was a tough cop. That was his whole thing. If you read stuff about him, Pete Morisi is the name. Seems like a pretty cool guy.
I don't know.
They should do a film about that. I think that would be really cool.
Was it Morisi or Morrissey?
Oh, I wish it was Morrissey, like the Smiths. That'd be amazing. But yeah, so the character is actually really beloved in the comic community.
Yeah.
The book Watchmen, which I'm sure all you have heard of, the character Ozymandias is based on this guy. Which this book borrows a lot from Watchmen. Actually, they like reincorporate Ozymandias things into this character.
The new book.
Yeah.
Not the old book.
So. Yeah. So like this one that came out, this Peter Cannon book, is a modern day book. Just came out last week. It's all new material, but they're reintroducing the character.
Yeah. And even the costume looks like Ozymandias' costume in the movie.
Yeah.
So they're kind of nodding.
So the character that he inspired, they're now inspired by, and taking that inspiration. It's like an Ouroboros of inspiration. It's super confusing, but the book is really good by itself. It's about a man who's trying to, much like Ozymandias from Watchmen, unite the world in like a peaceful way against a common like foe. Yeah. And this book is a dragon, which I thought was cool. It's super kung fu.
A magical nuclear dragon.
Yeah, the best kind of dragon. A nuclear.
China decides to test a nuclear bomb.
Oh, and, China. I know what you learn.
And in the mushroom cloud outsprouts a dragon.
Yeah, from the depths of hell comes this like magical dragon.
Very Godzilla-like.
It's super cool. It's super cool. And then this guy kung fu's it in the face and makes it go away.
It reminded me of that movie Dragon Wars with his...
Yes! Oh my god, I loved Dragon Wars. Yeah, this is much better than that. But I dug it. It's super berserk. It's this guy who like punches a dragon in the face and wins. It's insane. It's what comic books should be.
I found it a little too wordy though. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I think to overcompensate for the fact that it's a kung fu dragon punching book, they add a lot of like verbose text around it to make it seem like highfalutin and literary. It's about a guy kicking dragons. Like that's sold. Done. Yeah. I'll buy that lunchbox. I'm done, man. That's amazing. So yeah, it's kind of verbose. There's 2 essays in this book too. It's $4. You get a full new comic, and then you get a full old comic from the original series, which was never aired, which was never like published.
It was an
before.
Ashcan that Pete Morisi submitted back in the 80s to DC when they were gonna pick up the book, but
they never did.
Never did. So they kind of sent it back to the guy. They said, "Too bad, so sad."
Yeah.
So they reprinted it in all its glory in the back.
So it's 2 comics and 2 essays for $4, and it has dragon punching. That's amazing.
And nuclear explosions.
I wish all comics were this good. I was so happy.
It's pretty meaty.
He has the worst costume ever made. Can we agree on that? Like I wanted to die. It's so bad.
I think the original costume was worse than this one, so that would be the worst one ever made.
It looks kind of like the original Daredevil, where it's bifurcated and it's like blue and red. It's like but an odd combination of colors, and it makes no sense. And it's his monk vestments from when he was like kung fu monk, but they're like neon blue and red circus performer gear. It's so good.
Well, back then,
It's
they
so
were
good.
limited with the colors, especially when they had with the printing press.
Yeah.
They could only use primary colors.
But why dress him up in a costume at all if he's like a kung fu monk,
I don't know,
businessman,
man.
dragon puncher? It should just be called Peter Cannon Dragon Face Puncher. They would sell 1 billion more copies.
But I don't think he fought dragons back in the day.
Well, he should have. He fought one. That's why this was inspired by that. There's one issue. There was a fill-in issue wherein there was a dragon, and that inspired this entire first 12 issues of this book.
But that wasn't the original issue.
No, it should have been though. It should have been. It's like how Wolverine should have always been in the X-Men. It's the same kind of thing. Like Martin Luther King should have been a founding father. It's just when you find something cool, you just put it wherever you can put it in. There should have been dragons and everything.
They should have retconned it and just called him Dragon Puncher.
Yeah,
So
that's what I'm saying. Dragon
yeah.
Face Puncher. Yeah, it's super good. You should buy 1 million copies. If you don't, we're no longer
Yeah,
friends.
but in all seriousness, it's a very well written book. So,
If you like Dragon Puncher.
or just well written books.
But so you should read it.
Check us out. We're on Tumblr.
We're on the internet. We're everywhere. You can find us. We're
Tumblr is
either
on the internet.
yeah, we're either Heroes and Villains Tucson or H&V Comics on everything. You'll see. It's awesome. Go punch some dragons, Tucson. Make us proud.